Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start the recording. Because our team calls normally Thursday and tonight it's Wednesday, I don't have my recognition graphics, so I'll post those in the team page tomorrow. We'll just get right to it tonight. So I'm going to introduce you guys to Doug, who is a founding coach, which means like when the first coaches in the network joined Carl, he was one of them. He was the first transformation winner in 2001. He was the first to be called wait, I meant to ask you about this. I didn't know what you meant, the first to be called coach.
I am the first coach. I used to just be called coach. And in 2010, they made a policy because they wanted to trademark my branding. So I cannot say I'm the first coach. So it's sticky, man. And I'm playing nice right now, but someday I might come back on them. So
that is so cool. He was the first 2-star coach in the network, the first 5-star coach in the network. And he was also the first member of CAB, which is our coach advisory board. Go ahead and mute yourself guys too. There we go. I got you. And then in the first Millionaires Club, which means the first inductee for a cumulative $1 million in earnings with Team Beachbody. First to coach a grand prize transformation winner to win $250,000, which is so cool. And then first coach back-to-back to have a grand prize finalist. 3 times he was a top 10 coach. Seriously, this is crazy, like crazy. And then his transformations, like I said, for Hammer and Chisel were awesome. So he has lots of knowledge to spew on us tonight. So I'm not going to talk anymore. I'm going to spill it over to you. He is having sorry, I was going to say there's tornadoes right now. So if you may have a little bit of a lag, let us know if you can't hear him or anything. But his internet may be a little shaky. But now it's yours.
Ranch life. I'm actually from Las Vegas, so that's where I started this Beachbody journey, and I moved out here to the woods, and that was a blessing of Beachbody. I could live anywhere I wanted, doing Beachbody. So eventually I moved to Colorado for a little bit, and then had a really nice house up there called the Coors Mansion. And then I moved out here to this ranch where the worst part about it is no internet, so everything's wireless and it's horrible. So if you live in a rural area, you know what I'm talking about. The cool thing is I can go outside, light a fire, take a pee, shoot my gun, and then put my pants on. So I kind of like that lifestyle. So, but we'll get into the business of this. And I've been doing a lot of these calls, you guys, just tons of these calls. I've been doing about 11 hours coaching a day, and it's not my team. It's everybody else's teams. I've tried to hide. I've tried to be invisible, and I was very successful after 2010. I pulled myself from the stage because I noticed every time I went for recognition, it kind of hurt my business money-wise. And every time for the first 3 years, cameras were following me everywhere I went because my team led Beachbody, and one time we were over half the company. And through that time, and why I'm good at this, and I didn't come into Beachbody with any experience, and it took my wife and me about 17 months to make our first 7 figures with Beachbody, with less product than you have now, no social media. The comp plan was different for about 2 years, but did switch into this one, which I helped write, by the way, so that's why I know this comp plan real well. But along that journey, there was a lot of changes. So policy changes that destroyed my business at certain times. And I was able to rebuild my business each time very quickly, just using team volume principles. So I've been very successful. You guys don't know, in the beginning of this company, my first big team was all eBay. Huge eBay. So, and then they told us to go do eBay. And then they're like, oh, you can't do eBay anymore. So all my people were eBay people, so everybody quits. They did another policy change later. I lost 400 coaches out of my weak leg in one day. They all just quit. And I recovered from that very quickly. So every time I've been able to recover very quickly, and based on basic principles of team volume, which still exist in this comp plan, which I help write. So I know this very well. And I'm very active predictor on everything that's happened. I'm real popular with the leaders because there's a high trust factor. I've been very accurate in my predictions over a 2-year period. Everything that's happened over the last 3 years, I've said a year or two before, policy changes, what was going to happen. And that's good because I know human behavior. So the majority of stuff, I know. So I've always been right, at least in this, not in everything else in life, but in this. So that said, about, in November, a couple of elite coaches came up to me and they say, hey, come out of the shadows. I'm like, no, I'm good. They're like, come do, I don't even know what elite is. You know, they're like, come elite, do elite. Because my whole concept for me in this kind of business, in network marketing, and which I believe still is true, is that if you create team volume, and you create a team that duplicates it, you really have to work really hard the first couple of years. Then you go on vacation and you just kind of add to it, but you don't really have to work that hard, you know, so you actually get this vision, this storybook thing we're selling, where you're living this lifestyle and you get your family back. You get your time back. You know, you're not sitting on your computer all the time. If it is, you're watching Netflix or something. You're not working, you know. You enjoy, you get your life and you get that residual money. So team volume is residual income. And it's a beautiful thing. And basically every network out there is focused on team volume, okay? That's how they're recognized. That's how they build, and that's where you see the success there. Team Beachbody, a few years back, switched. We were like that. We recognized our old recognition system before Success Club was building emeralds. And when you build emeralds, you'll build team volume because you're building people low and down, and you're making all the customers go there really low in your business center, all right? So the whole concept was help as many of the lowest people possible, not yourself. And then it trickles up. It's truly sowing the fields, planting the seeds, and then waiting and you harvest. So there is a little bit of time where you don't get that instant gratification. And it's magnified in our company because there's no recognition for doing it. The only recognition you get is money. So if you focus on team volume, it's not part of Success Club. It's not part of Elite. It's a very little tiny piece of challenge packs. And so the whole idea is when these people came to me, these top coaches who are much better coaches than I've ever been, and they said, hey, we got this problem right now. We're working harder, and we're not producing as much money as we wish. And our lower people are having a harder time making money. And we noticed that you had said the emeralds are going to collapse, and they sure enough did collapse. And can you help us? So around November, I started writing a plan with a few of these elite coaches, and we came in with cash academies and stuff for them. And it's very simple. The hardest part is changing your mind on what you want, changing your focus. So think about this for a second. When people come into our business, we make them kind of promises. I don't know if you guys do, but I used to. And I'm like, you got to work from 9 to 5. Why? Don't you want your family back? You know, don't you want your time back? You know, why do you want to do that? And then we bring them in this business, and now we're saying work 9 to midnight. You know, and the reality is before 2016, you didn't have to do that. In 2016, we had a change and some other things happened, some plan changes. We also went to digital streaming, which they are working on right now, and correcting that hopefully this week. But we had some major changes. So what happened is basically you saw a flattening at Beachbody because how the emeralds, and I don't want to get too deep into that, how the emeralds were actually getting volume from the Coach Lee program. When they added Success Club to that in May or April of 2015, I knew there was going to be a collapse there because the emeralds were going to stop coming. So all you guys that were actually up here creating volume high because you're selling challenge packs, you're going for elite and everything else. It used to work because this base volume, the company is feeding leads to emeralds that really didn't have to do anything except keep two people active. And they were creating volume down low. So every time you got a new release, you would step up and you would stay up. And then you would come again. And the next new release, you'd step up, your volume would go up, and you would stay up. And that was a pattern. Well, what happened was the emeralds fell out, and corporate disagrees with me on this, but I'm right. And and what happened is now what you have is here you go a step up, that emerald foundation is not there anymore, and you fall back down. And sometimes you fall farther than you started. So what happened through my journey through Beachbody, I always had to make these mind changes. But I knew one thing is true and always will be true is team volume is residual income. That's where you're going to make money. If you're in a network, that's where you're going to make the big money. Now, you can sell challenge packs and everything else and make tons of affiliate money, the commission money. But are you ever going to make the big money? No, unless you hire a company to help you where you're getting 52 points a month or 100 points a month or whatever, unless you're hiring out all these companies to help you do it. You're never going to build a big, strong team. All right, because you haven't helped your lowest guy on the tree with team volume. So one of the things when we came in, and I hope this isn't boring you guys, but I think I need caffeine. Actually, I have to confess, guys, I just had a piece of pizza, so the carbs are getting me, like 5 pieces of pizza. So, I still got a 6-pack, you just can't see it. So anyway, so how do we repair this? Okay, one, the biggest challenge for you is Success Club. Now, I'm not going to knock Success Club, but hell yeah, I am. Okay, is it more important than you making money? All right. Corporate's job is to make more money for corporate. There's nothing wrong with that. That's why they're in business. But guess what? You're the CEO of your company. It's your job to make more money for your business or to get recognition. Do you want to go across the stage and say, look at me, all you guys, everybody on my team, thank you for making me a star. I'm elite. Sorry, I'm not bashing elite, but yeah, I am. You guys ain't making no money, but that's where it's gone. Now, elite wasn't always like that, okay? Now, recently, that's what we're seeing because the lower-end coaches, the emeralds, are having a harder time making money because that foundation there for getting those customer leads crashed big time. The lead thing's gone away. When we wrote this comp plan, we had to push for the leads in the first place because some of the people on corporate said we can't give people customers because we can never, ever keep that going when the network got big. There's no way to feed it. And we said, well, yeah, let's do it for a while. And it's lasted, 12 years. So it was a good run. But now we have to refocus on ways to build our team without that. And if you're a good coach or a decent coach, you should be able to go get your own leads anyway. We got the best stuff. We got stuff everybody wants. But what you got to think about right now is your strategy. So building your team strategy is what you want to do. Is the only thing that matters is team volume and where you put it. Do you know what personal volume is? You know what personal volume is? You know how much money you get paid for personal volume? Nothing. You don't make a penny on personal volume. You could have 10 million points on personal volume. It's pretend volume. You don't get paid a penny on it. Not one penny. It's not worth anything. You could have 1 million of it. It doesn't anything. The only thing it does is it keeps your rank status. All right. The only thing personal volume does is keep your rank status. Now, there's a correlation to commission, but commission's actually separate. So because they're all tied to the sales price. So on one leg, you got the sales price. On the other leg, you got commissions. On the other one, they say, hey, we're going to make this thing up called personal volume. And that way we can get coaches to make sure they stay active in their first business center to maintain their rank. But beyond that, there's no value. It's make-believe money. You don't cycle on personal volume. Here's the thing about team volume. Guess how much you cycle on that? You cycle 0 on that in your first business center. 0. You don't get paid for team volume in your first business center. You get paid for no volume in your first business center. Zeros. And a lot of people don't know this. So that's why we said when we made a new rule up for this company, because in the old days we used to be able to put 100 people on a credit card, no one said a word. You know, it was like, hey, Aaron, Joe, you want to be on my credit card? Yeah, I need to be a diamond. So I'm going to sign up all of you. And no one cared. You know, I can remember going to a top coach meeting. They're like, they had 5 other leaders in there. And like, one of you has 23 people on your credit card. It wasn't me. And they're like, you need to settle down. But that was a different time. But when we came in, we said we had to do a rule. We said we need a rule where we can keep emeralds alive. So it was U plus 2. Because with U plus 2, we can keep you alive. Now, you actually have to check with compliance all the time because they're always changing and make sure you're in compliance. Your spouse or family member has to be working that business center, technically. Okay? So if they get called, they're like, yeah, I'm working it. You know? So you got to stay within compliance. All right? But the secret is when you push team volume through your spouse, you lose the recognition. But guess what? You gain 2 checks. Because now your business center above team volume cycles off that money that's in your spouse account. Your spouse still gets the commission, and they're probably going to make Success Club because now all the points are going through their business center, right? But here's the other bad thing. They made this great thing called a challenge pack, and it's horrific if it's about making money. And let me tell you why. You can sell a buttload of them, but there's no team volume tied to it. It's so tiny. And if you want to do the math, and, you know, we have tons of all the resources for your team to use. Everything's already done. If you want to do the math, break up a challenge pack. Go look at the individual team volumes and see how much it's worth. All right. There are a time we sell challenge packs. Like when we come up to a new product release, that's a good time to recruit coaches, right? Because they're getting a discount. The incentive is to get in so you can get into this new fitness program early. So it's easy to sign people. So we call that the blue season. The blue season, we go sign as many coaches as possible. But the rest of the time we're in gold. And when we're in gold, we do team volume first, small items first. Now, let me give you a mindset here because a lot of people say, well, I can't rip off my customer. I got to give them the best deal. Challenge packs is the best deal for them. And I'm going to disagree with you. Now, here's my theory, and this is actually what I truly believe and actually how we used to work it. When you come to my gym. You come to my gym. I can sit there and sell you everything in the gym and give you a discount price and say, you know what, eventually if you buy all this crap, I'm going to save you 20% right now by selling you all this crap at once. You're never probably going to use any of this, right? If you come to my gym with my other mindset, I'm going to sell you the cheapest thing I can. It's BOD, quarterly BOD. And in there, I'm going to throw Energize in your shopping cart. I'm not going to tell you until I send it, and I'm going to say, hey, by the way, there's a product in there that I use often, and I want you to check it out. All right? Now, a couple things happen here when you do this. Of course, you're sending it through your spouse's shopping thing with them because you're helping them work it, right? A couple things happen here when you do this. You don't surrender part of your – where's the discount come from on challenge packs? Does it come from corporate? No. It comes out of your pocket. It comes out of your pocket, okay? So a couple things happen when I sell an individual product. My weakest coach can sell that, a free BOD for 2 weeks, then you got to pay $8 a month. My weakest coach has success. Not only that, they create team volume. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Maybe you're not getting recognition. If you guys want to do this system on your thing, then, you know, you figure out when we have recognition systems that it becomes in-house. Everybody wins. Now, what happens too is the next month I add a product. The next month I add a product to that person's cart and say, hey, check this out. You know, I'm actually coaching them. So if it was my gym, when my customer comes in, pretend it's a physical gym, I say, you know what? Let's get you working out and see what meets your needs. And we're going to get you the things as we go. All right? because you guys know challenge packs that last about 2 months. You know, Shakeology. I've had people on individual products for 12 years. All right. And that's big. You don't got to keep working. And it's duplicatable. It's super duplicatable because people have success early. Your lowest guy on the totem pole has success. Now, we've been doing this with the 3 teams I've been working with, the elite teams. None of them are in my downline, and I haven't even done this with my team because my team, they all retired 10 years ago. So if I did it with them, it wouldn't be realistic for me to share it with you. So I had to get teams that are inactive in the systems, okay? And so what we've seen earlier was a slow growth, like expected. Now, even with the volume issues in the company, they've leveled off a little bit. They're not getting hit like everybody. So it's working. And what's really working is the letters we're getting from the new coaches or the coaches that have been Emerald for years and they haven't made money. They're like, I cycled. I made $500. You know, I made this. And $500 might not be a lot of money to you guys, you know. Well, when I got into this, $400 was all I wanted a month, you know. $100 would have changed my life at that time because I was a high school coach, you know. So that matters. And so you build up slowly. Your retention rate's better. When we had retention guys in the beginning, we never lost coaches. Coaches didn't quit. Coaches didn't quit because everybody's making money. Your lowest guy is making money. So what happens when something's bad? Your emeralds are still there. They're not leaving. They're making money. Therefore, it's easier to keep diamonds. Starter diamonds don't have to be chasing rank all the time to get their paychecks. Volume's filling up. And what you build is you build a house on stone instead of sand. None of these card houses you guys build will withhold any pressure from any kind of turnover there is, all right? Now, my business center has taken a hit, but for a different reason, because they discontinued 17 products my people have been on for 10 years, okay? So I'll eventually rebuild that, okay? Great. But trust me, it's going to be much easier than what you guys do. You guys kill yourself. Now, look, if you guys are elite, I truly respect it. It's a hard job. It's not something I would ever do, and I give you credit for that. But if you guys are interested in money, elite needs to be secondary. Success Club needs to be secondary. I can pay for a trip. In fact, you guys, when we first started Beachbody, the very first meeting we had, I called corporate up. I said, come down to Vegas. You guys are doing a show. And they're like, well, we're not ready. I go, it doesn't matter. You're doing a show. So they show up in suits. I go, number one, don't ever show up here again in suits. You know, you wear jeans or sweatsuits. We're a fitness company. And they're like, all right. And then, but the thing that was really amazing about it is when we did this thing and we built this gym or I can't remember what meeting it was, but I think it was a gym. There was dozens of World Venture MLMs there. The trip guys with their hats, their stuff. We said, come on in. Every event we did, we like, come on in, have a seat, talk to whoever you want. Because we built on team buying. We knew they couldn't touch us. They couldn't touch us because even if I'm an Emerald and I'm making $200 a week or $100 a week, I'm good at that stage, you know? Yeah, I want to make the bigger money. What were they selling? Trips. I'm like, why do I want to join your network to win trips or to get trips? And I can pay for my own trips. I go anywhere I want. Anywhere in the world I want, whenever I want. I get it right now. I don't got to wait for it. I go to a bunch of people I don't like. All right? So a lot of us, what do we do now? We come this new challenge pack thing. We do all this shit, excuse my language, for a trip. When you could pay for your own trips. You could pay for all your stuff. Now look, I get the hard work. You guys like are such better coaches than me. You know, and by the way, I never recruited a lot of coaches. You know, when I was hot, I do one a week because I didn't need that. I didn't need masses. I need a quantity or a quality or a quantity. All I needed is some people that wanted to work. In our old saying, we said 5 people make you rich. And I believe that true today. 5 good workers make you rich. 5 to 7 is it. And that only works if you're working team volume. That doesn't work if you're working for affiliate action, rewards, recognition. So what you do as a team, you decide, are we going to do this? And it's up to you. If you want to do Elite Success Club, it's totally up to you. Just know what you're doing. If you need that recognition, you know what you're doing. One of the questions that people used to say all the time, especially a couple years ago, was, why are all the people on the Millionaires Club up there? We've never seen them. They aren't elite. There's a few. They don't even have Success Club crap. And it's because they're all building team volume. So they're the quiet types. And guess what? They're mostly men. You know why? Because men could care less. The majority of men could care less about recognition. So I prefer not to get any. But that's a decision you have to make. It's not a sexist statement. It's a true statement. Deja vu, okay? But I think I had to defend that thing one time. All right, but like 8 years ago. Anyhow, so that concept's in your mind. So if you decide to do this, you need to all buy into the system, because it has to be the number one. Everybody will tell you the number one thing to being successful in a network is not recruiting. It's duplication. And it's duplication for everybody, not your 2%, not for your best, not for the Success Club people, not for the people that can get 6 points. It's for the people that end up 4 points every month and say, mother, hell with this. I ain't doing it no more. But the reality is, and one of the things we found, you guys, is a lot of the people, a lot of these coaches reporting back to me, they're like saying, you know what? I have this person, they hardly do any Success Club. They never make it. And I look at their team volume. They're doing 5 times more team volume than the person I'm celebrating. They're making our team more money than the people we're celebrating. Because the cool thing about team volume, you guys, remember, you push it down as low as you can. If you're 2-star, you put it in your lowest business center. If you're working your spouse center or your family member center in policy, you put it there. And it trickles up. And what happens when it trickles up? Everybody in between is getting paid. It's not 2 people. Sometimes it is because you're right, your business center is there. But everybody up, you're getting paid. That's team. That's everybody wins. You got an emerald right there that just got volume in the lake because of an action you did on one of your DL coaches. They just got volume. So now this emerald's sitting there going, you know what? I'm not really good at this. I'm going to quit. And then you go, hey, I want you to know, look at your legs. Oh, look at your leg there. You know what? You got 10,000 in volume right there. You got 0 in here. Every time you put $100 over there in volume, you get paid again. You're throwing away money. So there's incentive for emeralds to stay right there. Then they start cycling. Now there's incentive for them to start working because now they're making money. Problem with Success Club, when they put that cap on emeralds where you had to make Success Club to get leads, a lot of them didn't do it because remember, a lot of the permanent emeralds are the people that only want to make, 80% of the people in networks only want to make $400 a month, max. That's all they're targeting, 80%, okay? So those are what I call, because I'm an ex-teacher, but I was also for half my career a strategist for a school district. How do I get my DC students to class? How do I get them to class? And I have to have incentive there, all right? Because they're never going to do anything more. I just need them to show up because an emerald is 3 active coaches for you. They're creating volume just coming. So you want to get those emeralds in. Even if they don't grow, you got to make sure they're part of the team. They just want to be there, but they're creating 3 active coaches for you. If I try to get them on Shakeology, they're going to fall out. You know why? It's too expensive. So that coach I know, if they're starting to fade, I'm like, hey, back off the Shakeology. Just try something else. Let's get you a 50 PV. We just got to get you 50 PV so you stay active. And then your 2 people that you brought in, sometimes it's their spouse and their family member. And they're like, let's get them 50 PV. Let's keep you emerald because guess what happens when you turn emerald? You bank volume, right? When you become an active coach, you don't bank volume. You don't start banking it until you're emerald. So if you're in this for the business, that's what I say. You have to become Emerald tonight. We used to I would say 90% of every coach we signed turned Emerald that night. We're like, if you're coming in this to make money, open up your bank account right now. We turned every single one. We just built Emeralds. That was it. We built Emerald. Someone come in, we built Emerald. They went Emerald, their people went Emerald, and it duplicated. Team volume, we don't need you to have a lot of team volume on the front end. We need you to have enough to stay in it and then duplicate and create more. So the system we have and what we do is called a golden blue in season. I told you guys blue, we focus on challenge packs and coaches. That's called couponing. Because when you go to Michael's or Harbor Freight, for you guys who are into hobbies or stuff like that, they lead with coupons, right? So you get a coupon in the thing, you go in, their stuff's overpriced. You use the coupon, you get it for a normal price, but you feel like it got a deal. But here's a secret. If you go to Michael's or Lowe or Harbor Freight, one of the coupon stores, if you go without the coupon, they don't offer it to you because they want you to pay full price, right? And even if they use the coupon, even if you use the coupon, what do? They hope you buy other stuff at full price. So if you sell challenge packs, that's what we do. We add to the cart because we're using a coupon because that money's coming out of our pocket. Corporate makes the same money or not. And we add to the cart, but we do that in what we call blue season and sometimes in gold season if we have to. They all both overlap. Gold season, we leave with BOD, free BOD. How many of you guys can get a BOD challenge group going? Hey, anybody want to join us in free? If you stay, it's $8 a month. It's the easiest sell there ever was. It's the top programs. It is so easy. Quarterly, by the way, not yearly. Not 6 months, quarterly. I don't know the math, and I'm guessing at numbers, but we did the numbers, and I'm probably wrong, but it was crazy. Like quarterly page, if you had 2,000 people on quarterly, which it sounds like a lot, but not if your people are duplicating. It was like 100,000 more or something, or $70,000 more than putting people on yearly. So the amount of money you want them on quarterly because there's so much more money in it. All right. And you're going to have to work with your people. You're actually going to have to coach them. You're going to have to get them to try the other products. And that is all going to bring you team volume, yearly commissions, and everything else. Now, there's new coaches sometimes that need to come sell a couple of challenge packs to their warm market. That's fine because they need the commission right off the bat to pay their cost. And that's fine. But what you want to do is teach them duplication. The other question I get is, what if the person comes in and they don't have any duplication? I mean, any spouse or family member. And it happens, you know. And what I say is you teach them exact same system because they don't lose anything by doing it. All right. So they're going to get a duplication system. They're going to have to buy out of their first business center if they can't buy out of, work any of the others until they can. But what you're teaching is a duplicating method because they have to teach the same thing to their people. So that's how you solve that because they don't lose anything. They still get their commission. They don't lose anything. They don't gain anything. They don't lose anything. But they gain a duplicating system. So that's where that comes in. Am I rambling? Am I okay?
No, you're good.
Is this making sense?
Yeah.
Is this making any sense? I can't read the questions, so you're going to have to ask me questions.
Just me talking.
Is there any
there, so you're good. I've answered everything that's in there so far.
So for a lot of people, this is definitely a mind blow. They're like, oh, and you know what? And a lot of people, they're like, this is a mind blow. And then I tell you what, then they go check. They backtrack 6 months, a year. What if they would have been selling these things this other way? And they're like, I just threw $100,000 away for the same amount of things I would have sold. I just threw this much away. I can't believe I didn't see that. Now, guess what happens when a challenge pack goes on sale? Where does it go on sale at? Where's the money come off? The team volume gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. Okay? The company makes the same amount of money. And they say, hey, go sell 100 more extra, right? And you go out and say, hey, I'm selling 100 more, and you make the same check. And you just worked an extra 6 hours, and you just gave up that time of your kid's life, your family life, or whatever you're doing to make exactly the same amount of money that you're not being strategic. So be strategic in your plan. We have everything written out you need to do. Beachbody does have to make a couple of corrections. They've already agreed to produce more mid-range products. We need more products at that 50 PV mark. And they've agreed to that. We're working on a couple other issues we have with them. And I'm telling you guys, let me tell you a real quick story. I did, Candace Talbot, I did a team call for her team like 3 years ago. She's like, hey, can you come do this team call for me? My team needs help. And I'm like, or pumping up. She was blowing it out already. She didn't need help. I go, okay, yeah, I'll come. So I do this team call, and I get done. Candace says, thank you. Everything's awesome. I do team volume call because that's what I know. I don't know challenge packs. I don't know social media. You know, I don't know any of the things you guys do. So I go, yeah, but I know how to make money, you know. So I talk to them about team volume. Nothing happens. So before Candace and her crew called me for this thing in November, I get a call from this girl, and she says, hey, coach, hey. I'm like, hey, who is this? And she goes, hey, I was on that call you did with Candace. I was on her team. And I go, great. And she goes, I want you to know, after you did that call, I immediately quit. I go, really? And she goes, yeah, because I wanted to build team volume. And I go, well, you could do that in Beachbody. And she goes, I know, but my team wasn't behind that. And she goes, I want you to know I'm up in front of a stage today in front of 4,000 people because of you. She goes, I joined a different company, and I did what you said. And I go, well, that's cool. That's really nice. And I have a great life, and I appreciate the call. He said, all right. Candace calls me the next day and says, hey, Doug, I want you to take over this training for my team. I'm like, are you sure? Last time I did a call, your Star Diamond quit and joined another company. But the funny point about it is, and I do know comp plans, and I talk to other CEOs and other companies. I know a lot of people in the industry now because at one time I was someone big and everybody knew me, and that stuck with a lot of people. So I do know a lot of the top guys. And I know comp plans. I know comp plans very good. In fact, I'm trying to write one right now. Just create something really crazy. But when I looked at the comp plan that she jumped to versus ours, if she would have did what she did in that other company in our comp plan, she would have made more money in our business with better products. I mean, with stuff you can stand, our workouts work, you know. She would have made money right here. Our comp plan hasn't changed since I think we changed in 2009. It's the same thing. Before Success Club and Challenges, we made more money than you guys, faster, okay, with recruiting less, working less. Under the same thing, with less product. You know what, when we went out of the founders meeting, you know what products we had? We had Turbo Jam, which you could get at Target. We had Power 90 and Slim and 6, which were old workouts. That's what I won the original stuff on 2001. And we had this workout called P90X that was a flop for 2 years that nobody wanted. And then we had some multivitamins that were actually crappy, you know. And it was like, that was it. No technology. And they said, go make P90X work. That was the only thing we got. No help. I never networked before. None of that. But what I figured out was the team volume thing quick. And I think that was good because I wasn't influenced like a lot of you guys are, where you come in and they say, do Success Club, do challenges, do this, because that's what you know. And I'm not blaming anybody, but that's what you know. That's what you're trained because that's what corporate recognizes. So I have people. I had just another coach a couple days ago. She reached out to me. She goes, look, I'm at $2 million with Beachbody. She goes, I made $2 million. I will pay you to teach me what team volume is. I have no idea what it is. And that blows my mind. Blows my mind because the reality is if she did, she'd probably be at 5 million. You know, it just blows my mind because our culture has erased from view. And they put people like me in the shadows. We only go up at the Millionaires Club. that we have raised to view the best way of making money in this company, the best way to make money, the strongest way, where your people aren't going to leave, where you're going to be solid in bad times. You're going to dip sometimes, but you'll have an easier time rebuilding every time if you do. It's just business. Business goes up and down. It's just business. You know, when people come and recruit your team players, you laugh. That's what team volume does. Who's leaving when they're getting a check? You know? So with that said, I can ramble all night, but if you have any questions, shoot, go ahead.
I saw one in the chat. That was awesome, Doug. Thank you. And I think that it's just so important for people to know that if Elite or if Success Club is, you know, and Shiny Things are something that you're shooting for, we are by no means saying don't do that. But I just want to give you all the facts for you to make the decision, because 9 times out of 10 people will say that money is what they're shooting for. So I think it's just really important to put it all out there.
Well, let me give you a quick example of this real quick, and let me just get your mindset here too. There's 3 ways to approach this business. Okay, there's recognition that you're going to spend time doing. There's team volume that you're going to spend time. They're on the opposite sides of the spectrum, because when you do team volume, it pays you more, not corporate. When you do recognition, it pays corporate more than you. But there's a third, where they're both in the middle, where you're doing both. And the problem that I have with that, what's not for me, is because it takes a lot of time, and I'm not willing to give that up. So if you want both recognition and team volume, there's people in our company that do both very well, but they're putting a lot of time for that. If that's what you want to do, that's there for you. You can do it. So, but if you want to make a lot of money without a lot of time, you go to team volume. If you want a lot of recognition without a lot of time, and I'm sure still both of these take, when I say not a lot, I mean not 12 hours a day. They still both take time without as much time, then you're over here, okay? So recognition versus team volume, they're on the opposite sides of the spectrum. They have to be. Corporate is not going to recognize in our company, they do in every other company, team volume, because if you grow your team volume throughout your team, their payouts more, and they're into making more money for them. So that's just a decision you have to make. I'm not knocking Elite. When Elite people go up, I have the highest respect for them in the company. I'm like, they're crazy. They work so hard, and they give so much love and passion to this company, and I really do have the highest respect for them. But I'm not willing to give that time away. And, you know, let me give you another story real quick. Sorry, I'm full of stories.
No, you're totally.
But, okay. My wife, all right, when we got into this business, neither one of us knew what we were doing. She basically handled the kids and stuff, and we go, okay, she's going to work the business, but a limited amount. So what we did with her was we went out and got her warm market, which was 12 people. We brought them in. Some signed coaches, some of them didn't. Some were good, some weren't. We were just building in-homes. So what we did was, instead of her recruiting aggressively, we said, let's do this. Let's focus on the ones in your downline that you already got that are working it, and let's work with them. If we work with those, then they'll do the recruiting too, and they'll duplicate that, and we'll keep pushing volume down. We find the people that are hot and work with them, because coaches you personally sponsor do not a whole lot for you. They do a couple of things. One, they increase your rank, okay? So that's one reason to have a personal sponsor. The other thing is the matching check, right? After that, there's no value to be having personal sponsors. There's always value to having team volume. So if you can focus on creating team volume, it's more important than personally sponsored. So with my wife, what we did was we did that. We focused on the coaches that were good. So she brought on 12, right? Now, at one time, the guys at Comp Plan didn't have caps. Like right now, I think we wrote the, diamond cap at $2,000 a week, all right? So when we had that business center rocking, she was bringing in, okay, maybe an income disclaimer, but she was bringing in with 12 coaches. She was bringing in $225,000 a year in income. And that was our small money. All right. She was the highest paid diamond in the company. And she has a record right now that will never be beat because of the new policies. She's the only one-star diamond in the Millionaires Club. And it took her 7 years because when they put that diamond cap on, she only can make $3,000 a week off that cycle, off of signing 12 coaches on a system that didn't have as much product as the system you have now, doing what I just told you. So she didn't spend her nights. Guess what? She got to spend her nights with the kids. She got to raise her children. She got to travel wherever she wants, and she spends the crap out of our bank account. But she can have it. I don't care. I'm not into it. So it's up to you guys. It's up to you what you want to be. Everything in this company is there. They have to make a couple corrections for us. I'm going to be the first to admit it. But you just have to focus. If you want to go Emerald, Elite, whatever, do it. But as a team, I will get together as a team and say, what are we going to focus on a team? Because if you're sending mixed messages, your new coaches are coming out and they're lost. Half of my team saying this, corporate's saying this, and you people over here with the big fat bank accounts are saying this. What do I do? So you want to get a message with your team, and if you want to practice one, do it in a group. And if you want to have a bunch practicing, you want to practice both, I would suggest you do that in a separate group that you're bringing new coaches in and find out what they want to do. Put it on their plate if you want to do it. I personally, and here's something too, you guys that are into Elite and stuff, they're going to have to change it because it doesn't work anymore. Success Club and Elite does not work anymore. It's failing. It doesn't work without the Emerald Foundation. So they're going to come in and adjust it pretty soon. So the good news for you guys that like doing that, yeah, a lot of people are going to go back to that eventually when they change it up because they have to put team volume back in. You can't do challenge packs with no team volume. You're an affiliate. You sell for the rest of your life. You're never going to get residual income. You're going to get commissions. If you're happy with commissions, keep doing it. You know what makes the definition of wealth is residual income. That's team volume. The definition of middle class is a dollar amount. The definition of being poor is a dollar amount. The definition of being rich is residual income. And there's only one thing in this company that makes you residual income, and that's team volume. Personal volume, pretend volume. Team volume is volume that falls under you anywhere and helps everybody out. So, all right.
Okay.
I've only done 900 of these calls.
I just saw 2 questions in the chat that I want you to put your feedback on. The first one says, what rank, Chelsea wants to know, what rank is the most beneficial to be at monetarily? And I wanted to say 2-star, but wanted to see what you thought on that.
Yeah, what you want to, and you guys don't hold punches back. You can say anything you want, and don't be afraid to offend me. It doesn't happen. So what you want to do is you get Emerald, you get your spouse Emerald, you get Diamond. Now remember, when you're personally sponsoring coaches are different than customers. I can put coaches in any business center because the reasoning, I can put them in my top one, is the reason is I can put them anywhere in the network I want. So I can put them at the lowest level possible so I can push the volume down. So there's a big difference between signing customers, where you need to push the volume down through your spouses, and signing coaches. A coach you can sign anywhere because you can place them anywhere, right? Under that leg that you're putting them in. So if I have my first business center or my spouse are in the same business center, it doesn't matter because I put them at the end. They go at the bottom of the network, and that's pretty. Actually, it's nice. So you go Emerald, you get your spouse Emerald. You go Diamond, you get your spouse Diamond. And then you focus on what's here. If you go back to your spouse's side and they have a family member in there, you put the volume to your spouse's weak leg whenever you go to that side, either customers or coaches. So if you ever go to your spouse's side, you go to their weak side. So guys, strategy is huge on this. What's your weak side and your strong side? You don't know. It's not a number of coaches. Every Thursday morning, you have to get up and look at your rollover volume of all the business centers you control. Wherever there's the most volume, I'm going the opposite way that week because I need to get paid on that volume. You go back and forth every week. Now, sometimes you're going to get in a power leg and it's get dominant. then you have to be strategic in your placement. If I go to my power leg side where I don't need volume, where can I put volume that's going to help me? My spouse's leg or my family member's leg or whatever business center I control over there within policy, I'm going to the weak leg over there, you know? So it's all strategy. Emerald is the most important rank there is. After that, it's 2-star. All right. And that's mind blowing for a lot of people. They're like, Emerald? I'm like, yeah, because Emerald, you start banking money. You know, when you get Ruby and Diamond, you get matching bonuses. That's the advantage to those, right? But let me tell you, outside of that, and you get the $18 cycle. So that does help. So that's an advantage to Diamond. But without volume, rank is valueless. The only thing it's good for is your quarterly bonuses. And at one time, guys, I was the only one getting quarterly bonuses, a 5-star. I was a 5-star for a year. Nobody else was one. All right. So you talk about nice bonuses. Like, hey, but I knew that it would get smaller and smaller and smaller as time went on. I go, do I really want to put my energies on making a rank when I should be doing on volume? Because I could get these checks every week versus every quarter. And I went for the volume. I'm still a 6-star. Guys, it took me, I think, 4 months to get 5-star. And then I lost diamonds over the year. I just replaced them. So I didn't care about that. For me, too, you guys, at the point, as someone that comes from barely being able to pay his bills as a teacher and a strategist, you know, going to college and doing all the right things, got my master's plus 100 credits after that, you know, 17 years in, became a cop for a while to try to make money that way, couldn't figure it out. Doing all the right things and suffering, coming into this, it was an easy decision for me to say, I want to do so much and get to a happy spot that I know I'm really comfortable and I'm good there. And if I can keep the promises to my coaches and my customers and help those people that are there, I'm good. For me to make, you know, between 500,000 and 800,000 a year, I'm cool. I'm cool. I didn't need to be one of the people making $3 million a year. I didn't need it. You know, I didn't. And, you know, I kept that income, you know, up till recently. And now I got to rebuild like everybody. And so income disclaimers all over. Okay. But team volume's a different world you guys don't know. And you can't protect things that aren't working for you. You can. If Success Club and all that's making money hand over fist and you're enjoying it, doing it, keep doing it. If your team's suffering, you're losing emeralds, you're losing diamonds, people are having to fill the bucket full of holes, you got to go towards team volume as a team. Because when you start filling the bottom of the bucket with team volume, those holes plug. Those holes plug like crazy, and you'll see. So, but anyway, that was really long answer to that question. So my opinion is emerald and 2-star diamond.
Okay,
so.
Cool. I know to expect that from you. I've watched your videos for years. I love it. Okay, so last question. Rachel says, what do you have your new coaches focus on as soon as they get started?
Well, as soon as I get some new coaches, right now I haven't been recruiting and I actually turned people down because I want to get these systems in place for everything. So what we're doing with the teams that are recruiting, I'm going to be honest with you guys. For me, signing a coach is a pain in the ass, you know, and I'll do it when I need to do it. But for me, when I make that commitment, they're not a point to me, you know. I want to be there for them. Some of my coaches, you know, I've done so much time over the years with because I need that relationship there. So it's about the person, it's really about their journey. So for me, I always like to limit how many coaches I've signed. Right now, I haven't signed any in a while, just because I've been focusing on helping other people. By the way, you guys, for 2001, I left Beachbody in about 2004. I told them to kiss my butt because I was running their company for them and I wasn't making any money. And doing this coach thing for free. I did it for free. There was not one penny involved. I spent 6 hours a night after I got done teaching doing this for free. 2006, they called me back and said, hey, we got an idea. We know you don't like us, but come check this out. You can make some money. And I'm a starving teacher. I just went back to teaching from being a cop. And I was like, okay, I don't know what it is, but I'll try it. And I got really good at it. It was shocking. So I found out something that was probably the best I've ever been at in my life. I had Beachbody in the first couple of years, the 64th fastest growing company in the nation. And I was getting calls from all over the country from marketers saying, we'll buy your pitch. And I would say, what's a pitch? I had no idea what the hell a pitch was, but I could preach about something I believed in. So going back to your original question, first I get into the belief with those people and then find out what they want. And to get them started right, BOD. Reach out with BOD. Who wants, we got stuff right now for you guys already by people that are more current in recruiting than me right now with social media. It's all written down. It's all there for you guys. Everything's done. So you get a little form and keep scores. BOD, we got scripts for it. It's like, hey, who wants to work out with me for free? $8 a month if you want to stay. You guys know how to talk to your people. So I'm not the one. I'm horrible with social media. I'm used to say, you want to get in shape? Stop being a crybaby. Get your head out of your ass. I'm saying, oh, here, let me hold your hand. Well, what kind of tuna did you put on your salad today? That doesn't work for me. So, but hey, it's worked for me in the fitness end because I've gotten a lot of people in shape, and I'm all about that. I'm all about our dream, our mission to help more people. But for me right now, with talking to coaches, it's more critical for me to make sure you guys are making money because Beachbody is my baby. All right, Carl owns it, but I started this shit. So this is my baby. I want this to work. I want you guys to be successful. I don't make Carl's money. I'm on the same thing as you guys, same track, whatever. I believe in this system. I believe in our mission, but guys, it's got to be about your families. It's got to be, what do you get for your families? How much time are you willing to give away from that? Because you don't get that time back. Shit, when I started this, I was 37, guys. Now I'm like 55, or 54. I don't even know how old I am. But you guys, you don't get this time back. So you have to be efficient and strategic.
Hello.
Wrong. So, wow. I think like 3 people hung up on me there.
I don't know. It just kicked me
All
off.
right. Enough preaching, you guys. You know it.
I have a question real quick.
I've been preaching, so yeah, go ahead.
So when you send over the Energize with the 3-month bod, and let's say they don't get it or they do whatever, you said you send a cart for other things the 2nd month and 3rd month. What do you reach out to them and say, hey, I'm sending you stuff? Do you see what they need and do you just send them a cart, or do you talk to them first, or do you just send it without talking to them?
Okay. Well, first of all, I don't do any of that because I'm not recruiting people. All right. So with the teams I'm watching, there's different ways the girls are approaching it that are having success. Some are they're not sending them Energize. They're putting it in their cart and they're saying, this is a product I try. Sometimes they put Hydrate in there. Like if you're traveling and stuff, you want Hydrate, and say, hey, I have these 2 products. I've watched girls put 6, 7 things in that cart and the person buys them all. And by the way, they're single items. Therefore, there's more team volume and more commission, right? So they're making way more money than they would make doing a challenge pack. And then what a lot of teams do too is they decide what product they're going to push that month, And I was talking to a top 10 coach or person. I don't want to say he or she because you give it away, but someone who was up there in the top 10 area for a while, and they actually were doing an accident. They would go for people for challenge packs, and if they wouldn't buy a challenge pack, then they would get them to single products and say, hey, we're going to try a single product a month with you. And they were able to do both of these things, not realizing what they're doing, but now they're kind of switching away from challenge packs, realizing how much money they're losing. So I've seen teams also do they do those free things you give away, sample of each thing. They're like, thanks for doing Energize and BOD. Here's a sampler pack, and they send that out and they're like, oh, that's right. This is what we're drinking. You know how to work it. You should be teaching me right now. So, but yeah. And by the way, all that stuff is in multiple groups. We have like 4 or 5 cash academies out there and everybody has access to them. So there's some really, really good coaches out there and very sharing right now. More people are sharing right now because everybody's trying to learn a new system. And I think that will tighten up. People will go to their cells again once all these systems are creaked out. But yeah. Did I answer your question at all? Because I don't know.
Kind of, yeah. I'll look and see in those different pages that you posted, just because I am a newer coach, but I've signed up over 30 coaches in 2 months, and I'm slinging challenge packs, but I'm obviously doing it wrong. So I want to learn as much as I can with this 3-month bod, and then putting in Energize, and then the next month, 3rd month, what I need to do to make the cash flow more for that.
Yeah, and I've been talking to
you're not doing it wrong. Yeah, you're not doing it wrong. You're not doing it wrong at all. You're actually doing it right. You just need to add strategy to what you're doing. So you're out there talking to people, and that's the most important thing. So, and then once you get that done, so you got the hard part done. You're out there talking to people, right? The next thing is just duplicating what is best for you and your team. And then you have to decide what that is. So yeah, you're not doing anything wrong. Congratulations. Shit, I'd never signed that many people in my life. So you're amazing. Hey, whose team is she on? I want a cross recruiter. That's my new recruit. You got your husband signed up?
I sure do.
6 months. Whatever.
Of nature. So yeah, Hannah's just she lost her 117 pounds before she became a coach. So she had a super awesome success story. And
how old are you?
32.
Oh, you're a baby. That's just baby fat.
He's been working hard. So, yeah. You're awesome.
Congratulations, by the way. You're awesome.
Thank you. Thank
you.
Congratulations. Thank you. But this was very helpful with knowing how to strategize to make more money. So I really, really enjoyed this call.
And we have
definitely invest. I'm sorry. And I'm overlapping because I got a time lap here because it's ranch. Definitely invest some time into explore these things and see if they're for you. They might not be, but if you're in your early stage of your business, man, you're in a good spot. You're in such a good spot. You're super blessed. And the best time to come to the network is after 5 years. People think the best time to come in is day one, and that's the biggest load of crap ever. The best time is to 5 years, and now Beachbody's transitioning right now. We're going to see some major changes this next year with Beachbody. So you're in a really sweet spot there. You're getting your foundation now, right now, as we're going through this transformation with the company. And the good thing about it, because even though it's changing, it's $1 billion company. It's not going anywhere. So you have confidence right there that what you're doing right now is going to be valuable in a few years. If you go into a new company, you don't get that. You never get that. So you're in a really good spot. All I say to you is you're doing a lot of good things, obviously. You're making a lot of good decisions. Just take strategy involved, and now look. Now you got tools at hand. I just gave you a bunch of different mindsets. Pick the one that's going to work for you. So